She always watched. You just didn't know. She watched you your entire life. Don't let her down by having to watch you destroy yourself, I tell him before thrusting the letter at him. He takes it, reading his name on the front.
What's this?
From Valerie. It arrived in the mail a couple of weeks after her funeral, along with a few others, I say, watching him turn it over between his fingers. After shaking my head, I grab my bag from the counter and head for the door.
She's dead, Everly. He kept her from me. Now she's dead,
he says, and I stop. Tears burn my eyes as I turn to face him. She's only dead if you believe she is. That hotel is her legacy, hers. All those women and the rogues, she helped build that. I hated your father for so long for what he did to her. I may never forgive him for that. But if he hadn't, none of that would exist. All those people, she gave them their lives back. That hotel gave them their lives back. She isn't dead, Valen. Everything I am, Zoe is, Macy, your son, is her. Gone? Yes, but she's not dead, because no one will forget what she's given to us, I say. Valen shakes his head before falling back onto the stool. He clutches his head in his hands once more, and his shoulders shake as he breaks down.
He lied. All those years he lied to me,
Valen cries, and I chew my lip to stop it from quivering before walking over to him. I run my fingers through his hair and gently take the letter from him. He looks at me, and I place it in my handbag.
What are you doing?
Come with me, I say. He shakes his head. I want to show you something, I tell him, pulling on his hand. But first, you need to get dressed. You stink, I tell him, groaning as I pull him to his feet, and he chuckles. He sniffles and tries to kiss me, but I pull away. Did you make out with an ashtray? I ask, scrunching my face up in disgust.
That bad?
He asks, and I nod, pushing him toward the bathroom. I turn the shower on as he pulls off his clothes. After retrieving a towel and fresh clothes for him, I sit next to the sink basin to wait. I message Kalen to check on Valerian, and he says that Valerian is already down for the night, asleep. Poor guy must have had a long day. When Valen gets out, he changes, finally smelling and looking like the man I love.
So where are we going?
He asks as I retrieve my bag and keys. You'll see, I tell him, leading him down to my car, his mother's old car.
This was hers, wasn't it?
He asks, stepping aside and staring at it. Biting the inside of my lip, I nod before chuckling. She taught Zoe how to drive in this thing. That's why it has a dent in the back. I chuckle, pointing it out. He looks on the back tailgate at the pull mark where she reversed into a sign.
I almost crushed it.
He whispers in horror. But you didn't. Good thing, too. All the letters were in the glove compartment, I tell him before climbing in. Valen hops in beside me and I start her up. He stares vacantly out the window for most of the drive.
What was she like?
He asks as we pull up to my hotel. I'll show you, I tell him, climbing out of the car. Valen's brows furrow, but he reluctantly gets out. Grabbing his hand, I walk him around to the storage sheds at the far back of the property, closest to the reserve. Digging through my bag, I retrieve the keys, unlock the padlock, and kick the slide lock. It wasn't until after she passed, and I was going through her things, that I realized why your father was so afraid to have her by his side. This is who your mother was, I tell him, lifting the roller door. The shutter groans as it rolls and bangs open. Leaning in, I flick on the lights. The fluorescent bulbs blink before buzzing and staying on, lighting up the huge shed. Valen gasps and steps inside, and I follow behind him. The room is not only filled with all her belongings, but her past. Your mother came from a wealthy family. This hotel was the first one built in Mountain View City. The city was built around it. Valerie's father refused to join any pacts as they formed around the city.
All this is hers?
he asks, looking around the place in awe. I nod. Valerie had plenty of secrets. Most I kept close to me. Ones I never knew in my time with her, but that she trusted me with after her death. After her parents passed, they left her this place. Your father discovered her, and they had you, but because of all this, and the uproar she caused in her younger years, your father worried about it damaging his reputation, I tell him, glancing at all the banners, posters, and huge blown-up pictures of all the rallies she attended that hang from the walls. She wasn't a rogue whore like everyone thought. I believe she was like me. It wasn't until she died that I understood what she meant when she said that me and her were the same. She was mislabeled, like me. She allowed everyone to see her that way, but she wasn't. Your mother was an activist for the rogues. And all this and the hotel were hers, her legacy and what she fought for, I explain, grabbing a picture off the wall. I hand the blown-up newspaper clipping to him. Valerie's pictured front and center, leading the protest with her banner held high. I pass him another. It's of her standing on the roof of a cop car to rally her troops. She stopped when she got pregnant with you. Everyone eventually forgot. Then I met her, and she met her grandson, and she started fighting all over again. Only this time, instead of fighting in the streets, she gave the rogues a home, and she asked me to continue it, I tell him, looking around at the memories that were once hers. Moving to the back, I grabbed an old scrapbook. It's aged and heavy, filled with every news clipping of her son, and at the back are photos of every event he attended that she snuck into. Grabbing another down, that one reveals even more pictures of him growing up. I hand it to him, and he looks down at them before moving to clear off a box. I stand off to the side and watch him look through it. She always watched, Valen. She was there. You just didn't know it. Valen nods, turning the pages. I hand him back his letter before giving him the key. I'll let you look. Just lock up when you're done, I tell him, before pressing my lips to his shoulder.
You kept it all these years?
He asks, and I look over at him. My lips quiver, and I clear my throat. This place always reminds me of her. Yes, because she wasn't just your mother, Valen. For a while, she was also mine. Valen nods, turning back to the scrapbook. I smile sadly before turning and walking back to my apartment, wiping my tears as I went. I'm not sure how late it is when Valen comes in, but I feel him slip into bed beside me before snuggling into my back. When I wake up later, though, he's gone. His side of the bed is cold, and I wonder what time he got up and left. I do, however, notice Valerie's letter has been opened, because it's sitting on the bedside table. Picking it up, I place it back in its envelope before tucking it away in the top drawer where it won't get ruined. Racing around, I quickly get dressed for work. Marcus took Casey to school for Zoe, and she's also running around getting changed, hopping on one foot as she slips her shoe on because both of us are already late. Kalen had already taken Valerian to school. He'd sent me a picture of him and Valerian at the school gate, so the only thing I have to do today is pick him up when he finishes. In the meantime, I have a never-ending list of work at the hotel, having fallen behind recently with all the added drama. There's the cleanup from the event to be finished, as well as taking care of the multiple rooms that need cleaning after the place was packed last night. I already feel exhausted just thinking about it all. With a groan, I drag myself down to the restaurant, knowing that's the first major task, taking inventory to order new stock in. However, Zoe comes rushing in halfway through, scaring the living daylights out of me when she squeals loudly. "Evie, come quick! You have to see this!" She gushes excitedly, waving me to follow her. I hold up my notepad, but she's practically bouncing on her heels with excitement. Placing my notepad down with a sigh, I follow her into the staff lunchroom. It's packed and full of staff members crowded around the small TV in here when they should be working. What? Jesus, Zoe, I have things to do. I whine at her when she reaches over and grabs my hand, yanking me to the front as she pushes past everyone. My feet halt when I see the TV screen. Looking for the remote, I notice Sarah has it, and I take it from her, turning the volume up. A reporter is standing out in front of the rogue grade school, and huge buses are lined up along the road. The news reporter is positioned between them, but what's most shocking is Valen standing in the background talking to men in construction uniforms. My brows furrow, wondering what he's doing at the school, when the news anchor woman starts speaking. Recently, I received some news that Alphanovel has made a significant turn for the better, or so he claims. It's not just that he accepted a rogue as a mate. He has opened all of his borders to the rogues, permitting them to pass through or even move into his territory. Alphanovel stated that other alphas should accept change and follow suit by opening their borders. As you can see behind me, she gestures behind her, he has also gone a step further and has accepted all students from this rundown school, welcoming them into the pack schools on his territory. His bizarre behavior is believed to be a result of learning the son of his rogue mate, who he also claims is his own child, attends this school, the woman says. She then prattles on about some other crap he was supposedly up to and how I managed to fool the alpha with outlandish claims that Valerian is his. Turning, I look at all my staff as Zoe shakes my arm. "Did you know?" she asks. I shake my head. I had no idea whatsoever. He left this morning without telling me where he was going. I know he said he would open up the borders, but I stop, trying to wrap my head around the news. It seems too good to be true. That's not all. He's turned the old school into a homeless shelter. Marcus called me this morning. Valen also put a statement out this morning for any rogues looking for work, telling them they can apply to all his personally owned businesses, as well as welcoming them to apply for any positions available on his pack land. Zoe exclaims. We also had workers out at the commune this morning, Sarah says behind her, making me turn to look at her. Construction workers? I ask. Yes, they were ripping the fences down that border his pack, and said they were building a road into the place. Sarah says excitedly. I blink, unsure what to say. Turning back to the TV, it's footage of kids lining up to get on the buses to go to their new school. About time things changed around here. If only the other packs would adopt this change as well. Sarah murmurs, and I look at Zoe, chewing my lip. Maybe we can make them, I tell her, and her brows furrow. I'm no longer a rogue. I'm a Luna of the city now. I can petition the council and remove the laws. Girl, do you have any idea how hard that is? I investigated that shit years ago. You need to have at least 5 council members' signatures on that, and as far as I can tell, you'll only get 2, yours and Valen's. The other 3 packs won't agree, and no way your father will sign after the drama from last night. Sarah tells me, and I sigh. Alpha Nixon and his wife definitely won't sign, I murmur to myself. So that only leaves one other Alpha and Luna. So I would still be a signature short, and that's if they even agreed. Not to mention, you need them to approve it before you can even bring it before the council members. You can put it forth, but that doesn't mean they'll agree to hear it, let alone call in a meeting over it. Macy says, getting up from her spot on the small sofa. We'll find a way. I have to petition for it first anyway, which will take a couple of days. No, first you need to let Valen mark you. You aren't Luna until he does. Macy tells me with a smirk on her face. Right, that too, I guess, I admit. I can't help but feel nervous, though I know I don't need to be. Old anxieties are hard to let go of. Yet, looking back at the TV, there is no one else I would rather be tied to than my mate.
3 hours earlier. My thoughts are all over the place as soon as I wake up. Everly is still asleep beside me, but I don't want to wake her. Rolling over, I spot the letter from my mother. The storage shed was a real eye-opener for me about the struggles she faced. My father, growing up, had never once said a bad word about her, only that she was Omega and he loved her. He never mentioned she refused to conform to our way of life. He never told me she was one of the original rogues from whom this land was taken. I rummaged through the storage locker for hours. This entire city belonged to her family. In search of a better future for their daughter, my grandparents sold pieces of it off, selling it to the different packs that now reside here under the pretense that it would create a better future for my mother. Only it did the opposite, and they were thrust into the middle of a turf war. The very turf they owned, land that was once theirs, only to be turned into what it is today. 2 generations of fighters. My grandparents wanted the city to remain free for anyone to live without the sanctions the packs brought forth. Instead, the city turned into a prison, one ruled by the packs that bought the land out with the promise to maintain my grandparents' way of life. Instead, it stripped them from it. Looking at Everly, it's a similar circumstance. She was stripped bare of everything she thought she would have, only to end up placed within the sanctions of the packs that surrounded us. A future set to repeat because of greed and blindness to what they're forcing those less fortunate to endure. My own son had been forced to watch his mother fight and claw her way to the top. My mother was remarkable in her fight to bring freedom back, and looking at Everly, I now understand why she fought the bond the way she did. Everly has all the makings of an excellent Luna. However, my father messed up, believing my mother would harm his reputation and break the pack alliances. He was wrong. She would have brought about change, and she would have been unstoppable, like Everly will be with me by her side. Now I understand what all the fuss is about, all the trepidation and fight. Everly isn't just fighting for the rogues, for my mother, or for herself. She's fighting for the future, for our son. Picking up my mother's letter, I open it and pull it from the envelope, finally finding the courage to read it.
For my son. If you are reading this, it means my time has come and gone. I know you must have some questions, pent-up anger towards your father. Just know I forgave him. Over the years, I watched you grow from the shadows, and he did a pretty good job. You turned out all right, turned into the alpha you were intended to be. For years, I longed to hold you, though the only way I could was in my heart. But no, I did try. I fought for you, even if it was from the sidelines. I always watched, and I held on to the hope I would meet you in person again one day. Now, obviously, it won't be in this lifetime. Don't feel bad for me, though. Don't feel sad. I get to leave you my most incredible gift of all. Your Luna and your son. I may not have had the chance to raise you, but I've watched her grow, watched her fight, and she will fight, and watched her become a mother to your son, my grandson. Go easy on her. She has a lot of anger towards not just you, but the system in which we all live. She'll fight when the time comes, and I just hope it's by your side and not against you, because I'm sorry, son, she'll win. Tell that girl she can't, and she will prove you wrong. You could try to tear everything from her, but it won't work. You don't want to go to war with her. War burns bridges, while that woman builds them, just like my hotel. I had lost all hope until she wandered onto my doorstep. I recognized Valerian the moment I laid eyes on him, of course. He reminded me so much of you, and it was like I was given a second chance at the one thing I missed with you. She gave me the drive and reason to keep fighting. When I met Everly and our sweet boy Valerian, I was on borrowed time, waiting for my life to end. For years, this place resembled how my life felt, broken and hopeless. Yet, after finding them, I opened myself up a little bit for the first time in a very long time, invited them in, and gave them a place to stay. For that, I not only gained a grandson, but a daughter, too. They gave me life, gave me back my home and my fight. So in turn, I gave her everything, everything I own. I would say your father won't be too pleased with that knowledge, but he'll understand why in time. Now, I know you're probably furious that your father lied to you all these years, but just know it was a different time, and I came with a lot of past and baggage. He saw me as a challenge. He wasn't totally to blame, though. I was a wild one. Yet he loved me still, and I couldn't let go of the anger or my home. When he took you from me, that was the worst and most harrowing day of my life. For a while, he would bring you to see me, so I was a part of some of your earliest memories until you started questioning. But my hatred for what he did overrode my reasoning. Don't blame him entirely, though. We both made choices we shouldn't have. It's as much my fault as it was his. You were deprived of a mother. I lost a son. But he lost his mate, his Luna, because his reputation was on the line. That was his loss and mine. I've realized over the years that anger and hatred grow, and it slowly destroys us. So let it go. It does no good to dwell in the past. Instead, look forward to the future and what it can be if you allow it. Hatred and anger do nothing but rot your insides, Valen, so let it go. He was your father, and still is. I know he'll regret my passing, regret his mistakes, but that's where history can change. Our past actions are a lesson for the future. So take those lessons from us. Don't blame, don't hate. Rejoice that you found Everly and Valerian. Don't let this be your biggest regret. Don't rule by emotion. Rule with a level head, and make sure it's with your family by your side. I'm proud to say I may have rubbed off on her a little. Everly is strong, stubborn, but with a heart of gold. She'll break you down and peel back the layers before she rebuilds you, like she did me. I was never one for emotion. She knows that, but I've caught myself awed by her ability to adapt, morph, and change herself into the woman she is. Valerian, too. I can see he will grow to be a great alpha one day, and hopefully you will be part of the reason he is. Don't let this knowledge of my existence tarnish what you have. Don't let this be the blood alpha's regret. Let it be the change that is so needed in this city. Love them, and you will not only gain a Luna and a son, but a family and home. She built her village. I just hope she lets you be a part of it. So, with that, I'm sorry for not being a part of your life, like I wish I were. Just know I love you, and I always will. Love, Mom.
Placing the letter on the bedside table, I sit up and pull my clothes on before leaning down and kissing Everly's cheek. I owe her this much, I think, as I get dressed and slip out of the apartment. By the time I've organized buses and pulled all my men from border patrols, it's nearly midday. Poor Marcus has been run off his feet as I gave him orders and a never-ending list of tasks for the day. I pull up at the school and walk in with Marcus to find Valerian. My son squeals loudly and rushes over to me when I walk into his classroom. Marcus scoops Casey up and holds her upside down by one foot, jiggling her like a tea bag while she squeals loudly. The teacher stops her lesson and looks over at us, interrupting her class.
Can I help you, Alpha?
She asks. Yes, tell the kids to pack up. I've already spoken to the principal. The school is moving, I say, and she turns, picking up the small internal phone as students start flooding the halls led by their teachers. Valerian's teacher jumps when the phone starts ringing in her hand. She answers, and I can hear the principal telling her what's going on.
What's happening, Dad?
Valerian whispers as he watches the students gather what little belongings they have while the teacher directs them. I'm sorry you saw me like that, buddy, I tell him, and he drops his head. I pepper kisses all over his face, and he starts giggling, pushing my face away. Do you forgive me? I ask him, and he wraps his arms around my neck.
Always?
He mumbles, and I suck in a shaky breath and rub his back.
Are you shutting my school down?
Valerian asks curiously while pulling away and looking at everyone leaving out the door.
What about my friends? Where will they go?
He looks uncertain. With you, to your new school, I tell him.
But they're still rogue, Dad. They can't go to a packed school like Casey and me. What about Taylor?
Valerian pouts, his brows furrowed. Taylor's coming. Your village just got a hell of a lot bigger, I say, feeling the happy buzz inside of me.
You're letting them come to the school in your pack?
I'm doing more than that. I'm letting them join our pack. I whisper to him before kissing his cheek and heading out the doors toward the buses.